Have you ever sat down and actually asked yourself, like, what is it that you are truly passionate about? Have you ever done that? Because if you have, then, like, the answer that you come up with, or whatever it is that first comes to your mind, it may or may not be of God. It may or may not be what God actually desires you to do. And I say this because sometimes us as humans, we're very easy to be deceived. And obviously the enemy, the devil's desire and his whole purpose in life, unfortunately, he made it that himself, is to kill, steal, and destroy. And so if you don't have discernment and you haven't asked God to like bless you with discernment yet, then you're gonna be deceived, my friend. Like, you're gonna be deceived. And I say this because I've truly been deceived before, and that was just me genuinely in my childhood and growing up to being in this position that I never thought that I would be in, and having no assistance in the way that I probably would have hoped for. And I say this because a lot of you are in a position right now where, like, you have these dreams and you have all these goals, and you're like, yes, when I turn like 20 or when I turn 30, I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do that, right? And then you get to like, maybe you're in like, just for example, a teenager, you get to like 16, 17, like before that, you were doing sports and you're playing sports and you're like so good at it, right? And I speak from experience, by the way. I was the best athlete ever. And when I say that, I mean like track. Well, let me not say ever, but like I was amazing. And I'm so happy I could say that. You know, I held all the records. I flew to Singapore International and did the national events and everything for like track and field. And I was really good at jumping and running, like sprinting. And yeah, like as I hung out with the wrong crowds, and I did not realize that I was hanging out with the wrong crowd outside of athletics, and I ended up falling into that trap that the devil wanted me to fall into through the people that I thought were my friends. And so I had a purpose there. I had something that really assisted me to be able to get to where it is that I am right now. But to everyone else and to myself, it looked like I failed, right? So when I sit down and I think to myself, like, what is it that I want to do, and what am I doing right now? And why did I have to go through the things that I went through in the past? Why did I do athletics and then just like stop? Maybe I'm going to be a professional athlete one day in the future again if I pick it up again, or when I pick it up again. But I don't know, like, I truly asked God, like, why is it? And I feel like the one reason as to why he allowed me to go through that path was because in athletics, you're training, like, you train almost every day, you know, like, for us, we were training almost every day. If you're like a professional athlete in like the Olympic Games or whatever, then you probably train every day, right? But yeah, so I was still very young, so that's something I had to balance school, and then I had to balance training, I had to balance my personal life. Yeah, I was pretty cool, but I still am cool, so don't get it twisted, y'all. But yeah, like I say this because I asked God, like, why did you allow me to go through that? What was that all about? And when I think about it now, and he told me that it's because now that you're a singer, this is like your passion, right? This is your purpose, to sing for me, sing for the Lord. And before, I also did not know that was what I was supposed to be doing, so I was singing for the world, you feel me? And I shouldn't have been doing that, but the Lord is merciful. And yeah, so yeah, like all that training that I was doing in athletics had really built me up to being able to be like really disciplined. And so now I'm like, although I'm not doing athletics, I'm almost very disciplined. And I say almost because I'm not perfect. There's times where like I don't wake up at 6 a.m. And there's times where I'm out here sleeping like until 2 p.m. There's times. And it's all just a mental game. And, but like I still get my work done. Like I make sure I do not go to sleep until I get the work done, regardless of if I wake up at 2 p.m., 1 p.m., 2 p.m., 3 p.m., whatever. I always make sure I get my work done, but that means I have to sacrifice something. And in athletics, I had to sacrifice my time, my body, to be able to go and do these training sessions every day, even when I got to the point where I felt like I didn't want to do it anymore because of how much it was taking away from my life, you know. But then again, at the same time, that was basically my life because that's all I grew up doing, and music as well. But like that came later on. That's when I realized I wanted to do music was like later on after athletics. And so the Lord had allowed me to be able to like get this training and this process of discipline going so that I could actually practice that with my music and what I'm doing now, and with this as well, spreading the word of God and spreading just motivational information to people that are genuinely going through it like I was. And yeah, like there's a lot of discipline, and if I did not do athletics, then I would not be as good as I am a singer and as good as I am at making beats today than I would be if I didn't do that or learn anything about discipline. And a lot of people, they get into things and they fall off of it because they never had that discipline. And if anything, they had the opportunity and God put the opportunity there for them to have that discipline, but they didn't want to do that because it just looked like too much. And when they tried it, it seemed like it was way too much for them. And yeah, like ask yourself, what is your purpose? Because whatever you're doing right now and whatever happened in the past, there's a reason for it, okay? There's an actual reason for that. So don't walk around and go to sleep thinking like, wow, my life is wasted away. It ain't wasted away. Your life is not wasted away. Who told you that? The devil. Yeah, we know. I know who told you that. Don't worry, because like he be trying to tell me that, and because I know that that's what he says, and God does not say stuff like that. I'm gonna tell you right now, this is your assignment. Go and get an Old Testament Bible. Okay, you may know a lot right now about the world and the spiritual realm and the warfare and all this stuff, but I'm telling you right now, your whole perspective on life is going to change. And God is going to use you. Okay? So, go and do it. Please go and do it. If there's anything from this video that you take today, it's this, alright? Don't listen to whatever I said over there. Go and get that Old Testament Bible today if you can. And make sure it's Old Testament, you know? If you can get the oldest one, that'd be great. But like, don't start on the New Testament. I know that it's so much more easy and simplified, but like, go to the Old Testament. And I know the words in the Old Testament is not as obviously easy to be able to read, but that's why you're supposed to ask God when you're reading that book. When you're reading the word, you're supposed to ask God, like, show me, speak to me, and read with me. He will bring his spirit down to you in that room, and you guys will read together, and he will read it with you, and he will tell you exactly what it is that he is meaning. You as his child, he knows that if you just surrender your ears to him and your heart and everything of your being, then he will come to you and he will talk to you. And when I say talk, a lot of people say, oh, God doesn't talk to you in an audible way, like this, as if someone's like sitting right next to you. God can do anything. If God gave you that mind, then what makes you think that he cannot speak in an audible voice? Because he does. And that's why to the world it seems so crazy, because all they can hear is flesh. All they can hear is the person next to them. But when you're so quiet and you're not thinking about anything at all, and it's just you and God, you hear that quiet, still voice. You hear it, and I'm telling you today, you will hear that. You want to be delivered today? Go into that prayer closet. Go into your room. Lock the door. And say, God, I've been hearing that you are real. So if you are real, I need you to show me right now. And have the open heart to be able to receive him coming in whatever way it is. You need to ask him to soften your spiritual ears and your physical ears and your heart so that you do not miss when God comes to you and answers that prayer of him revealing himself to you that he is real. Okay? It's not going to sound, normal to your friends. It's not going to sound normal right now. And I remember when I first started, getting into the word, and I was like, yo, this is crazy. As soon as I read in the beginning, in the beninging, I was like, wow. And I could not stop reading it. I could not stop. Every day I was just reading that. As soon as I read in the beginning, I was hooked. And I don't know how to explain it, but I was literally hooked. Just in the beginning. Because what other book can, the Bible literally reads you individually. 10,000 people can sit in a room and read the Bible, and every single one of those people are going to receive a different revelation from the Lord. What? And I didn't know what to expect when I first went to read the Bible. My mom always just wanted me to read it, and I was like, yeah, whatever, just chuck it there on the side. And I never read it, and I always felt like I was reading it. But in that time, I was living in deep sin, right? And I'm so grateful that I'm able to say this out loud and openly, because I'm not ashamed. Because no one is perfect, guys. No one is perfect. I'm not perfect. As pretty as I am not perfect, okay? Anyways, but the thing is, in God's eyes, we are perfect. And that is what is so beautiful and just so crazy. To think that these little pieces of dirt running around, we're not perfect, but he sees us as perfect, especially when we're in our lowest point. Sorry, my eye is whoa. Especially when we're in our lowest point and we're at the breaking point and we broke and we can't take any more. The ugly cry is the very cry that God sees as so beautiful. And he sees it. And it's so crazy for you, who has been through so much in life, to even sit here and be like, ain't nobody hearing my cry. I'm just sitting in this room and no one's hearing me. Baby, he is hearing you. He's sitting right next to you, actually. He probably ain't touching you, though, because you haven't given him that access to you yet. He's just sitting there next to you. Or he's just covering you with his spirit. He's just covering you so that no other attacks can come and hit you in this moment, because he knows how strong you are. And he's sitting there and he's shielding you, because there's arrows and knives and swords just coming to attack you in that very moment when you're at your lowest and you're crying in a corner, in the bathroom, in the shower, in the room. In that moment, you're at your weakest, which means that you cannot fight in that moment. But those tears that the Lord sees coming down your face, he collects each and every one of those to wash out each and every one of your enemies. Yes, you have demons. We all have demons around in the spiritual realm that is literally seeking our life to kill us. And it's just the truth. Whether you believe it or not, the reason why you as a non-believer or as a believer are going through things is because you have a purpose for your life. And some people, they never ever get to see the result of that purpose coming into full manifestation because they genuinely weren't able to come to that place of softening their heart and receiving the Lord. And that's why I cannot let you go without being that person that sees the full manifestation of the seeds that your tears have been. Like, your tears are literally seeds. Okay, let me say like this. Your desire is a seed. Your tears is the water. It's the water that is watering the seed. It's watering your desires. And the Lord sees that. And he captures those tears. And he floods out your enemies that is standing on top of that seed, that desire that you genuinely desire to come to pass. The enemy is standing on your peace right now. He's standing all over it. And he's not trying to get off. He don't care. He's stomping on the yard right now and you don't even know. Because you don't know who God is. You don't know who your creator is. Imagine living a life where you don't even know who the person that created you is. You think it's just you. Are you that creative? Oh my goodness. Are you that creative that you've never seen your insides before? Are you that creative that you can't even count the amount of hairs on your head? Are you that creative that you don't even know how you create thoughts? You don't even know how thoughts come into your head. They just come. Are you that creative that you just... Are you that creative, bro? No, you're not. I'm sorry, you're not that creative. Anything, and I'm sorry to but anything that we think and that we pray to God about, he takes that and he's like, that's cool and all, but watch this. Like, watch what I'm about to do. You ain't never seen this one. You can't even think about what I'm about to do for you. That is our God, guys. That's our God.